Hi, ladies and gentlemen, it's Dr. Julio Novoa. Today I wanted to follow up on my presentation associated with the rupture of silicone implants. Now, some studies suggest that you don't have to do anything if a silicone implant ruptures, while other studies suggest that you have them removed. And in my opinion, I do believe that it's important to remove a silicone implant if you have been able to confirm that it's ruptured by either mammogram, ultrasound, or MRI. Why is that important? Well, I'm going to demonstrate that in the second part of this presentation, which is what we did when we cut silicone implants in half. Now, so let's go ahead and start with that part of the presentation. So now let's look at the traditional implants. These are actually textured implants. These were removed from the market due to the high risk of breast implant associated and anaplastic large cell lymphoma, or ALCL. And so what we're looking at here is once the integrity of the shell is compromised, you do have some spilling out of the silicone. Now this is high cohesive, but of a more traditional consistency, and you can see that there are aspects or pieces of the silicone that do spill out. Now, can imagine that this has been maintained, its integrity has been maintained, but over time it's losing some of the silicone as it presses against the capsule wall. So what you can see here is that this is actually sticking to my finger, and so this actually does stick to the capsule wall. So when you see videos where doctors say, "Oh, look at the integrity of this. This is great because it maintains its shell form and it's not bleeding out," that's not actually true. What you have is that this gel, silicone gel, will press against the capsule wall and over time compromise the capsule wall or cause an inflammatory response leading to the breast implant illness or Asia effect. Put this one aside because this is a traditional implant. But let's look at the newer implants, and a lot of people talk about these implants and saying, "Oh, look, they cut them up, they run over them and everything," and say, "Oh, look at the integrity. This is fantastic." And it is true that the integrity, you see less of a loss of the silicone. It doesn't bleed out like the traditional ones. But here's the deal, and I'm just going to have to wipe my hand real fast because I still have some silicone on it from the other implant. Let's look at this. So if you have compromised the shell, and although it doesn't bleed out, this still, look, it's very sticky. This silicone will still press against the capsule wall and over time cause a migration of some of the silicone through the capsule wall, causing breast implant illness or the Asia effect. So as you can see in the demonstration, what we noticed here is that despite the fact that by damaging a gummy bear implant, the majority of the implant silicone does not migrate outside of its shell. Some of it does migrate outside of the shell, and therefore any part that does migrate out will touch the capsule around that implant. And over time, it may migrate through the capsule itself, inducing a foreign body reaction as part of the breast implant illness, breast implant syndrome, or the Asia effect, or the autoimmune autoinflammatory syndrome induced by adjuvants. So now what we understand is that the mainstream media is accepting the syndrome of breast implant illness or breast implant syndrome, which is under the umbrella of Asia. But more importantly is this: the mainstream cosmetic surgeons and plastic surgeons that have their own websites or are doing Instagram, TikTok, YouTube presentations are finally admitting that breast implant illness is a condition that we have to be aware of related to the foreign body reaction of the silicone. What's more important is this caveat. Just because you've demonstrated that the silicone maintains the integrity within its shell, that doesn't mean that the foreign body reaction does not still occur. Therefore, it's so important and for every patient to get their annual mammograms done, the MRIs done every 3 years, and be aware that you can have a silent or occult ruptures of your implants with silicone implants, which is a distinct a difference between saline implants, because with saline implants, you're going to know that it ruptured because one breast is going to be bigger than the other. But with silicone implants, you may have an occult rupture of your implant and develop all of these symptoms, which leads to the fact that you're going to have the implant removed. So the caveat to everything, don't go by what they've demonstrated, what doctors have demonstrated by cutting these implants. Just because it doesn't migrate outside of the shell doesn't mean that damaged implant will still not allow silicone to touch the capsule itself or migrate outside of the capsule pocket. And therefore, the patient will have systemic symptoms associated with breast implant illness as part of ASIA. That's so important to understand. It's not something that should be taken lightly. When this does occur, get the implants removed and get them replaced. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.